Guys, as I water my plants all around in my nursery here, you know, we all got to band together in this one. As you know, there is a serious drought going on. And for a very long time, I have been wanting to spill the beans to you. But I've been encouraged, is the light word to use, and more like demanded by my wife that I not tell you about what I'm going to tell you. But I feel that we are in such dire emergency that everyone needs to know this trick. I've been utilizing this trick for, I'm 53 minus 22, 31 years or something like that. And I can't tell you how much water I've saved because of this trick that you and everyone else needs to know. Okay. It can be potentially cringeworthy, and I may get banned from the internet by sharing it with you. And that is the risk that I run. There's probably a higher likelihood that I will be banned from my sleeping quarters for some reasonable duration of time. But I'm still going to risk that as well. So what we're going to be talking about today is how you can save a ton of water super easy and fertilize your plants at the same time. Some of you know what I'm talking about. All right. I'm just going to come right out and say it. There's actually a word for it. I'm going to walk around and just look at plants, you know. Obviously, if you're going to water, get yourself a shut-off right there. Get yourself a water wand to be exacting about where to put your water. But you also want to get yourself a bucket. Does anybody have an idea like why I'm carrying this bucket around? Some of you do. It's part of the strategy to save the world. It also used to house mouse traps, so it's multi-purpose. Anyway, the reason this bucket is here is how do I get this started? I have remained silent, but I can't anymore. And the reason that I came out of the closet on this is this very thing came up on a New York Times article, and they even have a name for it now. And I never thought, like, what a great name. You ready? It's called pea cycling. It has nothing to do with riding a bike. And it has everything to do with a bucket. So, it works a lot better if you're male than female. There's some methods for females too. I've actually seen some on the internet, and I'm just glad that I'm a male when it comes to this particular exercise. Just a little easier. Anyway, it's all about recycling your urine. It's just too bad there's always a blower in the background. Whatever. I don't have time to wait, so we're just going to do it. See that tree right there? That's a beautiful thornless lime. And I just watered it just a minute ago with, you'll never guess what. That's right. Exactly what you think. Look, this lime is right outside my house. It's so convenient. I just come on out here and do my thing. And what you may not know is that urine contains quite a bit of fertilizer. Okay. Did you hear there's a fertilizer shortage crisis going on right now? And that's because of Putin. Yeah. Putin used to make all the fertilizer, but now, we're not buying it from him because he's just a complete jerk, to put it mildly. And he deserves for us to buy fertilizer from him. But that's creating a huge fertilizer shortage on the planet. We all know about the water shortage. So I'm going to teach you how to save water. If you save water, you save fish, right? Fish need water. Let me show you. Here's a fish, and that fish needs water, right? Swim around so people can see you're a fish. Come on, swim around. Come on, he's our little pet fish. Yeah. Anyway, those things are great. They live in fresh water. I forget the name. I think it's a fighting fish or something. But my little lime tree out there, that's the first, sorry, the kitchen's so ungasly, dirty. But I want to show you how you can eat your pea. I'm going to do it right now, just for you. This is hard with a dull knife. All right, what I should do is couple this with a little bit of tequila. But I'm just going to do the lime only right now because I'm kind of not in the mood to get drunk. I really don't drink much anymore. It's kind of fun when I do, though. Anyway, here we go, people. This was basically made from urine. I've been peeing on this tree. These are the first limes I've ever had from this tree. Watch. Want to watch me eat my urine? Here I go. I'm going to see what my urine tastes like. Oh, yeah. Urine tastes great. Did I forget to rinse this off? I think I did. My wife's going to kill me when she sees. Maybe she won't. I have 800 videos. She hardly watches any of them. Only the ones I show her. And I force her to watch. She's not going to know about this if you don't tell her. So, my urine. All right, this is going to be pee cycling take 2. Fortunately, the battery ran out right before I ate my very first lime from my lime tree right over there, with most probably my own urine on it, or at least some degree of it. So we're going to pretend that never happened. And I have a sharper knife. See, I'm learning from my mistakes. Hopefully this will work. Maybe it's not so sharp. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There, that's it. All right. Let's go. We're going to do the flip again. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Used to be an outfielder in high school. Loved that position. Okay, here we go. Take 2. So this is the first lime I've ever had from this tree. And in a way, I'm eating my own urine because I pee on that tree all the time. That urine somehow goes into the tree and makes it happy. So let's talk more about this concept, people. The episode that, my wife never wanted you to see. So anyway, I need some visual aids. I can't really show you. Can't be like too graphic about this video and show you what, how these techniques and stuff like that. But I'll probably get banned from the internet if I did. So we'll just go out and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I need to do some watering anyway. So why don't I talk and water? So another thing about this time of year is on the California coast, it's a Mediterranean climate. You would think the longest day of the year is the time of year that would be the most water demand on plants. That is not true. The reason that is not true is we have a cool ocean. This is the same case across all Mediterranean climates, next to cool oceans, that being the Mediterranean itself, parts of Australia, Chile, and where else? South Africa. Am I missing one? California, Peru. Anyway, this is a recently planted bougainvillea, so I'm trying to get it to go. And so you would think that the longest day of the year would be the most evaporative, but it's not. It's actually delayed after that. The reason it's delayed is because the ocean temperature always lags the temperature of the environment around it. Wait, did I say that? Yeah. So there's a delay effect, and the ocean temperature is sort of really highly influenced the temperature of the areas around it. So the ocean temperature maxes out in the northern hemisphere probably about September, early September, late August. And it's the coupling of those two in the middle from the highest temperature of the ocean that it reaches and the longest day of the year. The point in between, on average, will be the most evaporative point of the year, at least in California. So that's the time of year we have right now. So I'm going to give it extra water. Plants actually love it. This thing has no water at all, so it just kind of subsists on whatever I give it. And urine is often applied there. It's just so convenient, right? It's right next to the bottle cap opener over there. And that leads me to another story. So, how did I learn about pea cycling? How long have I done it? What do I know about it? Well, it all started back in about 1990 when I was fortunate enough to just happen upon the most amazing garden I've ever seen in Walnut Creek, California, where there really aren't a lot of tropical plants. And it was Richard Douglas's garden. And people watching this video, some people will actually have known him, met him, been to his garden. It's legendary. You can look him up. You can feel like you're even talking to the man. He's not alive anymore, unfortunately. But a lot of his internet interaction is still alive in the form of chat groups with all kinds of wonderful information that he used to give out. He used to love to teach everybody about palms. He was a pilot, and he would often fly to Florida, and he would bring all these exotic palms back on the plane for, I think, Delta Airlines, or I'm not sure which. But anyway, went over to his house one day. I just was like handing out flyers for my new landscape business. Turned the corner, was riding my bike, saw this guy's house, and I was like, no friggin' way. It looked like this in Walnut Creek. There was nothing like it anywhere. So, of course, I was like, I'm kind of a forward person. I left he wasn't home, left a note on his porch saying, oh my gosh, I would love to see your garden. And he invited me over. I have to kind of adjust this thing with one hand. He invited me over, and we hit it off. And these guys that have these gardens in the Palm Society, he was a past president of the Palm Society, oftentimes they don't want to tell you their tricks on how they make their gardens so awesome, because it's sort of a competition amongst all of them to see who can have the best garden. Some people give the information out, others don't. So I did not know what to expect with Dick, as I like to call him. I know it's an awkward word, but I use it, and he seemed to prefer to be called that. And I basically hit him up. I'm like, hey, what's your secret on fertilizer? What do you use to fertilize with? And then he said, you don't want to look at me, you want to look at the plants. He said, well, you really want to know? And I was like, being the young, eager 20-year-old that I was, wanted to get my own garden going. And he said, well, first, you need to drink a lot of beer. And I thought, this is a curious conversation. But face covered, I used to drink a lot more before I was 21 than I drink now. Yeah, the ever decreasing alcohol consumption as you get older. You'll see young guys. It's just not quite as fun when it's legal. Anyway, so then he told me, well, next step. And I said, what's that? And he said, you need to pee on your palm trees a lot. And I was like, I get it. You don't want to tell me what you really use. You're just effing with me. So I was like, oh, yeah, right. He also said, you need to pee up onto the foliage of your palms if you can reach them. Now, that one would be challenging, but certainly these younger ones would be easily achieved. So I kind of thought it was a whole joke, so I didn't take him seriously. But then a few years later, I had my own house, paying my own mortgage, paying my own water bill. That was the worst. I had a little nursery going. It was a drought. It was a recession, kind of like now. And our downstairs bathroom was right by the front door. And, you know, the protocol in the house was that my wife and I just wouldn't flush until it was beyond yellow, if you know what I mean. But the problem with that is that anybody who came over unannounced or whatever, they would very quickly get the scent of this bowl of aroma right by the front door. And I thought, this isn't working. So then I had a struggling queen palm right outside my front door. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to try what that guy said. Good old Dick Douglas. And I started going out there at night when the neighbors couldn't see me, doing my thing right off the front porch. And lo and behold, within about 6 weeks, the tree started to explode. And anyway, I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe I need a control experiment. So then I got really bold and would go around the corner of the front yard by the front garage. There was another tree, that was really struggling. It was actually planted on top of some sandstone rock, which is part of the problem. And I decided to try it there. You'll never guess what happened. Boom! That tree took off. So, at that point, I was sold. So, maybe it's a little too loud with the water. I'll just wait till I'm done with the video. Okay, so I was like, wow, there's something to this, I think. So, of course, I was saving water from being flushed down the toilet. And if you like fish, you'll really want to try to save water, because in order to have water, we have to have dams. The more dams we have, the more rivers get messed up, and the less salmon we're going to have spawning. It just wrecks the whole environment. So believe me, you just want to use as little as possible for everyone's benefit. And that goes with more and more people hitting the planet all the time. So anyway, that's where the fish come involved. Like, you're literally going to kill fish if you waste water. Think about it. Every time you waste water, every time you leave a light on in your house that's not needed, you're killing fish. I told my kids this when they were little, and it worked pretty well. Not well enough, because they kept leaving lights on everywhere. But anyway, that's some good imagery, effective imagery. And so you want to have your paradise, you want to have your lights, but you don't, you got to be really efficient about those things. If everyone was really efficient, then we'd be all set. So anyway, I started to just never waste a drop of my urine ever again. And then I would, I never got my wife in on this. She just never really picked up on it. But my kids, including my two daughters, I'll call them later, and they got on board, and they started to, go do their thing, which saved immense amounts of water. You can thank them later for saving your world. And that worked really well until one day, my wife was at the park with our young daughters, with a bunch of moms that she didn't know sitting on the bench. They're all watching the kids play, and my mom's trying to make a good impression. Or not, my wife's trying to make a good impression on the other moms. And then one of the moms looks up and she says, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no." And my wife looks up and she sees our daughter. I used to tell my kids to get really close to the bottom of the palm tree and just pee right there. Don't pee in the house. They loved it. Hopefully they don't watch this video. It might be embarrassing now that they're older. Look at my booty. Look at that booty. And anyway, they got on board and did it. But then of course my wife just kind of, all the moms were like, "Whose daughter's that?" And my wife didn't say a word. She's like, "Oh no." So apparently it works, and they never figured out it was her daughter. So you got to watch that if you train your kids in this endeavor. You got to, only when you're home, I think is a good one, or in the forest. So, but yeah, the pee actually has quite a bit of nutrient load in it. There's no way you can get sick from urine, unlike the other. You could actually do the same thing with the other, but I that's where I draw the line. Yeah, so now you know, people. Keep your water in the sink. All the little bits of food and stuff that you wash off your plates will end up in your sink bowl. And then you can even mix that with your other bowl, your other yellow bowl. And your plants will thank you so much for doing it. The fish will thank you. Your fellow citizens will thank you. They will never really know that you're doing this because you're probably not brave enough to come out of the closet like I did. But now you can thank me. For 33 years, I can't imagine how much water that would be. Think about it. This water, you wouldn't believe what it takes to get this water here. It's just a freaking miracle that we have this water in the abundance that we have, at the prices we have, in the quantity that we have. And that here in San Diego, this water comes all the way from like halfway across the United States, the Colorado River. Okay, there's a few local wells, and a few local reservoirs, but the bulk of it comes from Utah, Arizona, Colorado, all those places. And then it goes through an amazing circuit of delivery apparatus to get here. Same goes with most water delivery systems all over Northern California. It comes all the way down from the Sierra, it comes all the way across the Central Valley, and so many things have to happen to get the water to you. It's just a miracle that we have the water in the abundance that we do. But we need to conserve every drop because we're probably going to be looking at shortages in the future. Even if we get back to normal rainfall, which might be unlikely, we're still going to have more people. So unless it's a little bit of a people problem. But anyway, I wanted you to know about that trick. There's all kinds of other tricks too, but this video is getting awful long. And if you, if you do well enough, you can grow your own banana trees and maybe even get some bananas. And that's everything I know about pea cycling. Thank you.